All views and opinions in this podcast are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the Trinity University of Asia.
Yan. Okay, so I guess ako na rin mag-introduce natin. So, welcome guys to the very first episode ng SikoloHOY, ang official podcast ng Psychology Society. Right? Tama ba?
All right.
Tama.
Yeah, let's go.
Doing great.
SikoloHOY.
Kayang-kaya.
SikoloHOY. Let's go.
Kailangan natin ng tagline, pero next time na yun.
yung hashtag don't diagnose, hindi ba natin gagamitin?
Ay, sasabihin ko ba yun? Hashtag don't diagnose self, guys. So, just
Don't
use the
self-diagnose pala.
Don't diagnose self. Hashtag.
Hashtag DDS. Hashtag don't diagnose self. Okay?
Wala pang 5 minuto, naging agad eh.
Kalot agad tayo.
Ayan, so pakilala muna tayo. Ako si Patrick Suba, Ways and Means Counselor ng PsychSoc. Yun yung title ko, I guess. Kahit
Bakit parang hindi ko sure?
Kasi wala pang consti. Charo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yung print. My bad. MB, my bad.
Anyways, ako naman. My name is Daniel Escasa, the secretary for the Psychology Society. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
How do I do this? Hi, my name is Franz Rubio Alcantara, your local QT ng QC. I am your previous semester's VP, Vice President, and I'm here as a guest.
Ano was my confidence?
Hey, let's go. And I am James Angeles, your previous counselor for internal communications ng Psychology Society. All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Denzel Martinez, your PRO this year from Psychology Society.
Hi, I'm Ron. I'm your professor. Ako yung professor nila sa psychology and advisor ng TUA Psychology Society.
Yay!
Yeah, let's go.
Wow!
Kailangan nyo yun? First episode, guys.
Palakpak.
Wala sa ating nagsabing di natin kayang gawin. Pero sasabihin pa rin natin na nagawa na natin.
Yes.
Gusto ko yan. Gusto ko yung motto na yan.
Claim it. Let's go. Yeah.
Ano pa pag-uusapan natin ngayon? Tara, usap lang. Ano, Valorant? Ganon.
Valorant.
Tara, laro na. Diretso.
Sanay ako na ako yung nag-host kasi may podcast din ako. So, ang na-awkward ako ngayon na parang ayaw magsalita, ayaw magpa-bibo. So, kayo na muna. Nagpipigil ako talaga.
Dapat hindi rin ako magsasalita dito.
Yeah, pero wala kayo no choice. Joke.
Yeah, wala kayong no choice.
So, this will be the official podcast ng TUA PsychSoc. So, ito yung first episode. So, sana tumagal to. And mapasa. Kasi
sana
very
mapasa.
interesting. Very interesting yung podcast. Hindi lang to for academic but also personal. And sana magkaroon tayo mas maraming guests maliban sa atin.
Yun yan.
Like mga artista, ganun.
Yeah.
Pero actually, to be honest, hindi lang to para sa PsychSoc. Para din to sa mga estudyante sa student body ng psychology. Kasi
That's true.
to be honest, boses nyo rin to eh. Hindi man kayo nagsasalita, pero kung gusto niyo, mag-guess na kayo para kayo magsasalita.
Yan, yan.
Yes.
Mag-guess na kayo.
Oh my God.
Mag-guess
We
na
are
kayo for the,
encouraging you.
for the juicier topics. Ganun.
Oo.
Let's talk
Ano yung
about
juicier
sex,
topics?
ganun.
And I think will be the platform ng mga TUA Psych
Mhm.
na magsalita. Kasi for the longest time na nagtuturo ako sa Psych, sobrang timid ng mga estudyante and they don't really parang push themselves para magsalita. Para sarili na. Unlike sa ibang school na pinanggalingan ko sa pinag-aralan ko, lahat ng tao may say eh. Na parang,
Yes.
even prof, sinasagot namin nun. Pero ayun yung nagturo ko sa TUA, hindi masyado. And I guess kasi yun sa empowerment and sa culture ng school. And I think this will be the platform for everyone to speak out their voice na mga opinion nila. And it's very good na speak out kayo. Speak up. So yun.
Yeah. Actually,
Actually.
ano eh, I agree dun sa sinabi ni sir kasi like, nung sinabi na kailangan mag-speak up, like when we talk about psychology, parang automatic na 'to eh, na kapagka psychology students ang pinag-uusapan, there's always this advocacy. Kasi we're trying to revive the mental health advocacy dito, lalo na
Yeah.
dito especially in the Philippines, 'di ba? So, kapagka psychology student ka, parang ang hirap maniwala na parang student ka na tahimik lang, pero pagka psychology student, parang meron ka palaging pinaglalaban. Especially with this course na very underrated. Nakikita lang as, ano lang naman yan, psychology lang naman yan, ano lang naman yan, utak lang naman, nasa isip lang naman yan. Parang ganun palagi yung tingin ng ibang tao when it comes to psychology. Where in reality, kung ano yung nasa isip natin is what actually defines us as people. So, kumbaga, it's very relevant kung ano yung nasa isip din natin. And kaya, very important din, feeling ko talaga na napapag-usapan natin yung mga ganitong bagay. We should really be vocal about psychology. We should really be vocal about mental health. Yung mga bagay na hindi na pag-uusapan. Let's break taboos. Let's break like, yung
I
mga
like that.
bagay na
I
hindi
like
na
that.
pag-uusapan. Di ba? So, let's be more
No holds
open.
barred na daw. No holds barred na.
Yes. Ang
Yan.
nakikita ko kasi, like, there's only so much that, yung Google Forms or feedback forms na binibigay sa atin na kasi it's too formalized or too structured. Baka kasi yung the students in the student body, they can't really express themselves fully, at least in a platform like this or even in a more casual platform, they can really voice out. Kaya mag-comment kayo, guys.
Or
Meron ko commentan.
or sumali sila. Sumali sila sa discussion if they want to talk about something.
Yes.
Inform nyo lang.
Yeah. Yun kasi feeling ko yung nami-miss natin for like sa face-to-face classes is hearing the conversations around you, hearing the discussions other people have. Kasi parang when it comes to like online platforms, mas nagka-come into play yung pagiging restricted and more cautious ng mga tao so hindi mas natural yung conversations na nangyari. Kasi napoproofread pwede nilang ma-edit or mabago. So, at least this is an actual conversation that people are having and they can listen to and they can see na parang, it's very natural for them to want to talk about stuff.
Bakit tao nga ba tayo? O brain in a vat lang? Boom!
Onggoy tayo, onggoy.
Return to monkey.
Monkey tayo, monkey.
O lahat tayo nag-monologue na, si Denzel na lang hindi. Denzel.
Denzel.
Ginaman ako kasi, di ba, ang daming stereotypes being a psychology. Then, di ba, may
Mind reader.
dapat maging, mind reader yung mga,
Telekinesis.
sabihin nila, basahin mo nga yung utak ko, ganun. Parang ang sarap sa pakinggan ganun or what. Kasi syempre parang hindi yung iniisip na ibang tao sa atin or sa mga psychology dito sa Philippines, parang underestimated na tayo nga yung the last line of defense, 'di ba? Kasi pag bumaksak yung mental state ng isang tao, wala na. Kasi yun yung pag-iisip doon na nagsisimula lahat. Tsaka yung perspective ng isang tao kung paano mamuhay or yung growth niya as an individual.
Parang
Yes.
napaisip ako din sa growth ko bilang
Oo.
tao.
Oo nga eh.
On myself, nag-grow ba ako?
Tamaan ba?
Self-reflect ako, Denzel, slight lang.
Doon sa sinabi ni Denzel na parang last line of defense, napaisip ako, actually, pwede din tayong, parang we're the first and we're the last. Kasi we're also responsible with the prevention, yung possible na mangyari sa mental state ng isang tao. And we're also part of the last line of defense din. Kasi, let's say for example, doon tayo sa position ng counseling. Usually, it's a preventive measure na para maiwasan problems that we have into manifesting into habits na hindi maganda, making us people na hindi natin gusto maging. When we reach that level na parang we become our undesired selves, we're also at the part of the last line of defense na we need to be able to help cure that person. Aside from the medicine, we also have the mental help na mabibigay natin sa kanila. And ewan ko if you guys were able to play war games, eto. So I find it very relevant yung moral ng tao. Like, 'di ba, when you guys play war games, merong lumalabas na moral na nandoon na parang meron siyang cap na kapag kahit gaano kadami yung tao na nandoon, pero ang baba ng moral mo versus an army of, let's say for example, 50,000 versus 10,000, pero yung 10,000 kumpleto yung moral nila. Kaya nilang talunin yun eh. So, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to psychology, when it comes to mental health, the more mentally healthy a person is, mas nagiging capable siya. Tumataas yung potential niya, tumataas yung strength niya. Kaya I find this a very, very relevant topic. So that's for me. My
Welcome sa TED Talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Eto.
One point, sobrang ganda ng point niya. Naiintindihan niya talaga what is psych. Unfortunately kasi maraming taong nagsa-psych na hindi nila alam ano yung pinapasok nila. So ang first question natin, ba't kayo nag-psych? Start tayo kay Daniel.
Grabe. Okay, since I am the first of this. Honestly, yung psychology isn't my first choice. Music talaga sana eh. Kasi yun nga yung passion na hobby ko and sana yun yung career ko. Pero psychology initially was a compromise kasi like family wanted me to be in the medical field pero hindi yun talaga 100% gusto ko. As a pre-med, itong BS Psych sa akin basically. So like while I was picking through the courses dito sa Trinity, I'm like, out of all the pre-med courses, which is the one na I could tolerate or I'm actually genuinely interested in kahit 10%? Psychology. And after my first year, I actually like
Kasi talaga walang backstory na parang nadapa ka, tapos sabi, may batang lalaki na sabi, mag-psych ka. Ganun backstory. Kasi namili ka lang. Namit mo si Sigmund Freud, ganun.
Or magic film ba to, sir?
Dumalaw sa panaginip.
Dumalaw sa panaginip mo. Yun yung hinihintay ko eh. Pero yun na nga. So, parang lang talaga namili ka lang ng pre-med love.
That was my first motive, pero now I'm like, yung talagang new core motive ko, it's like, I want to help people kasi, especially in this time and age, talaga yung mental health, it's a serious issue, almost equal with physical ailments. So I want to be part of that helping people in coping or in the struggles and whatever. Of course, you can do that as a friend. Pero there's something more if you actually learn the psychological concepts and whatever na to really help them in a holistic manner.
Si Denzel, ba't ka napunta dito?
Alam niyo. Hindi, merong nabaliw lang siguro.
Naliligaw ka ba?
Hindi ko alam.
Ba't ka nag-psych? Ba't yun yung, sa dami ng courses, di ba? Yun yung dilemma ng after mong graduate, na parang ano ba gusto ko? Ano ba gusto kong gawin sa buhay? And napakaswerte ng pinili yung course na parang ito talaga. So, bakit ka nag-psych? Anong pumasok sa isip mo nun?
Pero sa experience din kasi hindi rin psychology yung first choice ko. Dapat engineering, more on yung mataas yung demands. And sa experience, may mga friends ako nagkaroon ng anxiety, na depressed. So, doon ko na cope up na pag yung friends ko nagkakaroon ng anxiety, ako yung lalapitan nila. So, parang nakuha ko yung gusto kong makinig sa kanila, yung mga problems nila, yung mga dinadala nilang problema. And then eventually, mas na in love ako sa psych dahil na-experience ko din, nagkaroon din ako ng mental health issue like anxiety, then depressed, na ano rin ako sa school namin, na dinala ako sa guidance. Dahil may event kami sa school, then parang inatake ako ng anxiety. First time ko nangyari yun, yung nanginginig yung kamay ko, yung dire-diretso hindi mo maintindihan na iiyak ka lang out of nowhere, na hyperventilate ka na. Then doon ko na rin na parang gusto kong maging mental health advocate tsaka makatulong sa ibang naka-experience ng mental health sickness or gano'n.
Yun yung backstory.
Grabe.
Diba?
Yung backstory.
Yun ang backstory.
MMK ba?
Yun yung hinahanap ni sir, yung may
May parang MMK.
Oo.
Kasi boring din yung bataw nag-psych eh. So, mamaya ako ikwento.
Same.
Ikaw, Gio, anong nangyari sa'yo?
So, din sa story ni relate na lang natin. The story ni Denzel. Ang friends. Na nakakaranas ng mental health issues. Ako yung friends. So, basically, parang fusion of the two stories then. My parents wanted me to go to a science-related field kasi, typical Filipino family. Sabihin nila, sayang utak mo.
Doktor ka.
Oh, mag-doktor ka, sayang utak mo, wag ka lang mag-arts.
Hey.
Ganun.
Di nyo lang alam, walang laman yan. Diba?
Totoo. So, I chose psych because it's one of the most liberal science-related fields. also, as a person who has suffered from mental health issues in the past, alam mo yun, understanding how the brain works and why you're built this way, why you built so weird, is very welcome in my case. I've learned to cope better. I've learned to read people better. Kasi for the longest time, tinatanong ko lang sa sarili ko, bakit ang lungkot ko?
Ah,
Bakit ang lungkot? But then when you come into psychology, you start to understand yourself, and at the same time you appreciate yourself for being the way that you are. So yun yung pinagpapasalamat ko for being in this world. Kasi
Hmm.
iniisip ko kung nasa business ad ako, siguro malungkot pa rin ako.
Pero mas mayaman ka.
pero nagbibigay ka ng pera.
Mas mayaman ka, pero hindi mo pera yun.
Di
Most likely nga ganun yan. Pero,
So ang lesson doon, #don't diagnose self.
yeah.
Yes.
PDS.
Mag-aaral ka.
Unless nag-aaral ka, which is, yun yung mahalaga. Oo.
Ito si Patrick, parang may magandang backstory to eh.
Nako!
Ayan na. Ayan
Nako,
na.
boring sa akin siya. Yung pa-joke kong answer is kasi malapit sa eskwelahan yung bahay ko. Kaya yun yung pinili ko.
Ito,
Trinity?
Yeah. Pero yung...
Okay. Like,
I
meron ka
mean-
bang naranasan na parang mental health issues kaya ka nag-psych na parang kasing, are you driven? There's a drive na maintindihan mo yung sarili mo.
Hindi, parang yung pinakamalapit na situation or instance would be yung kagaya nung kay Denzel eh. Like yung, alam mo yun, I liken myself to an emotional dumpster. Yung mga tao, nagkasabi lang sa akin ng mga bagay na, yung mga hinaing nila sa buhay. Tapos, sinasabi nila, yan si Pat, ano yan, magaling makinig yan. Yung mga ganon. Tapos biglang, okay. Sige, pupunta ako ng ibang eskwelahan, tapos hindi ko kukunin yung psych. Tapos, nandito na tayo ngayon. Nasa psych na tayo sa TUA. Ano gagawin natin? Fast forward na yun, wag na yung in-between. Tama na.
Yung past, wag na yung past. Past is past na yun.
Past is past.
Pero alam mo yun, sabi nila pag magaling ka daw makinig, gustong-gusto daw ng mga girls yan ah.
Nako,
Ayan.
walang ganun sa akin.
Parang, huti ka, nakikinig ka sa akin. Parang
Alam
ganun.
nyo na ladies, #single na.
Lads.
Hashtag ready to mingle.
Buti ko mag-aaral sa'yo, Gio. Buti pa sa'yo.
Sana all.
the bare minimum of like listening. Tapos parang apparently most guys don't meet that. Feeling ko it comes into play din from psych kasi you're supposed to be doing it. Tapos parang sa kanila, parang ako, wala naman akong ginagawa.
Shit.
So ako naman,
Galawang pogi.
galawang ano yan.
Hindi talaga
Online pogi.
Feeling ko desperado lang sila. Feeling ko depressed lang din talaga sila. Kasi hindi talaga.
Wala talaga.
Next.
So, mahilig kasi ako magbasa dati, nung kabataan ko. EB library, dapat yung pipiliin ko. Tapos physical education kasi varsity ako. Dulo psych. Kasi yun, wala lang. Sabi ko, mag-psych na lang ako para ito. Mataas kasi yung nakuha ko sa PUPSET, sa PUP. Sabi nila, huwag na mag-library, ang lit ng ano. Sobrang taas ng nakuha mo. Sayang daw. Tapos, di naman ako pwede maging physical education kasi hindi naman ako physically kasing katulad ng iba. So, sabi ko, sige, psych na lang. Psych na lang.
Sir, alam mo pa ba kung paano gumagana yung Dewey Decimal System? Turo mo kami ngayon.
Dual decimal system.
What's your librarian skills, sir?
So, yun. Psych na lang ako. Pero yun, nag-interesado din ako sa human behavior. Alam mo yun, dahil nagsisik ako kung ano talaga gusto ko sa buhay, naging motivated ako na gusto kong maging magaling na psychologist. Ito na yung calling ko in a way. Tapos naging teacher.
Si James pa. James, ikaw.
Para sa akin, going deeper into the kung bakit gusto ko mag-psych kasi alam niyo yung mga notions na kapag sinasabi ng magulang niyo na bakit napakakulit mo, parang natataas sila bakit ang kulit, kumbaga parang tapos sasabihin nila mamaya na parang nung bata ako hindi ako ganyan kakulit, tapos parang ganun lang din yung sinasabi sa parang same generation, ganun lang din yung sinasabi sa sa mga anak nila. Tapos at some point napaisip ako, kung ganito ako kakulit, ibig sabihin mas makulit ka rin nung parang
Universe
nung
naman. Universe
nung
naman.
bata ka. Pero aside from that one, di ba, parang aside from thinking about that kind of perspective, napaisip din ako na when we're talking about generations, I want to be involved in a culture that is involved in creating a better generation. Kasi para sa akin, ang main goal ko kasi is to be child developmental psychologist. Gusto ko siya. I want to be able to help develop a child. Kasi personally, I didn't grow up na parang having the best, childhood. wala akong, kumbaga, it's not the best childhood. It's not the best kind of childhood. Pero,
Ano ba yun? Ano, parang naano ka sa bahay? Para kang, tawag doon? Yung sa bahay ka lang?
ano po,
Homebody.
actually, yeah, nasa bahay lang din ako. And yung typical na, alam niyo yun,
Sheltered. Yun yung sheltered ka
Yes.
nung bata ka.
yes, very sheltered, tapos sobrang conservative ng family. And syempre, kapag ganun yung family, tapos marami kayo sa bahay, may mga bagay na nangyayari sa mga mga bata na hindi natin alam. Gusto natin maiwasan, pero ganun din nangyari. So, ganun yung naging childhood ko. I've experienced a lot of traumas, pero I was able to cope through that. So, growing up, naisip ko din na I want to be able to help culture a greater generation na parang iniisip ko child developmental psychologist. Kaya mahilig talaga ako sa bata na parang I want to be able to protect them actually. Kasi
Okay.
naisip ko din na kapag yung bata, lumaki sila, knowing that they have good foundation, I do believe na it can also change an older generation na parang, yung anak ko parang ganito siya, bakit napakakulit niya tapos ngayon natuto siyang lumaki siya ng mas mabuti ngayon. So, what could have caused this? Maybe it could also affect our generation. So, parang, it felt like, kung meron kang gustong baguhin sa sistema, or parang meron kang problema na hinaharap ngayon na sa tingin mo that can't be changed, let's say for example corruption, diba, and everything else na ang hirap baguhin, I think it has to start with a new generation. Kasi parang yung older generation parang bakit nga ba naging stubborn yung generation ng boomers or something like that? Hindi naman sa stereotype ko, pero the
Okay,
usual.
boomer.
Parang ganun.
Okay,
Diba?
boomer.
Okay. Hindi naman sa ini-stereotype ko lahat ng generation na nandoon is stubborn. Pero most na ganun yung mindset is bakit sila considered as stubborn. So it has something to do with their older generation. So ngayon, nagkakaroon tayo ng bagong generation ngayon. And right now, we also have to be thankful with that kind of generation. Kasi if never tayo na-expose sa generation na very stubborn, hindi rin tayo magiging stubborn for change. Gets nyo? I'm also thankful for that. Paglalaban natin to. So, ayun.
Okay.
Sa tingin nyo, ito, tanong ko, speaking of generation, masaya ba yung generation nyo?
Ano nga ba ang kasiyahan?
Hindi, malayo eh. Parang nag-start ako mag-Facebook 2009 eh. I was siguro 13, 14 years old nun. So there was a time na wala internet. As in talaga, sa labas
Totoo.
kamusta?
Kami
Magka-generation kami nito eh. There was a time. Di ba? Di ba? Lahat ng palabas mapapanood ng mga bata. May single source lang ng information, which is TV or TV Patrol or 24 oras.
Tapos
Ngayon,
anime sa hapon.
Anime sa hapon, yun lang source of information. Wala nang iba.
Grabe naman.
Slam dunk.
Slam dunk.
Alas 9 to 10 a.m. yan, anime yan.
Raymond.
Yan. Ito, sa compare sa generation ngayon, is this, sa tingin niyo, is there a negative or positive? Ano positive and negative side ng generation ngayon na nag-grow up with internet? Ikaw, Pat?
Positive? I think ang positive ay mas liberal tayo. I consider myself a transitional generation. I guess meron tayong mga values na ma-harken pa rin yung past generation. Pero for the most part, itong current generation na nila James and nila Daniel, nila Gio, nila
Denzel, yan.
Kahit na may mga setbacks, may mga drawbacks tong growing up in a technological age, I think for the most part, for the better part of that experience nila, I think it did them good na nakakita sila ng napakaraming perspectives, and in turn nawa-weigh in nila yung sarili nilang pananaw dun sa mga perspectives na yon. And in turn, mas lalong nagkakaroon ng magagandang diskurso. Mas napagyayabong yung usapan, yung knowledge, gano'n.
That's true. One of our biggest strengths kasi would be being able to reach each other faster than everybody else. So I agree na parang ang dali for like our generation to have a conversation, to start an advocacy, to usher a movement, which is all a net positive for our age.
Mm.
Negative side ng generation niyo. Ano yung
At the same time, I guess it's a negative then, since everything is online and everything is so much easier for us to be online. Parang nagkakaroon kasi ng pressure to be online all the time. Nakaka-pressure yun for many students, I guess, and many teenagers and young adults na parang, shit, kailangan nasa Facebook ako, kailangan nasa Messenger ako all the time.
dapat edgy ako sa internet.
Oo, sir. Tsaka yun nga, may pressure din na to build an image na parang,
FOMO ang sinasabi.
oo, na parang, kasi if you're not there, then you don't really exist. Especially now.
Really?
Oo. Feeling ko,
Okay.
like, if you're not really existent, then people don't really see you as a person. Ay, ewan ko. Feeling ko kasi ganun yung perception sa akin. Na parang,
Mm.
kasi wala naman si Gio sa Facebook. So, hindi.
Kasi nag-i-exist. Yung parang sinabi ko sa'yo kanina, di ba? Anong ginagawa mo, Gio? Buhay! Nag-i-exist ako sa outside world, di ba?
Yun nga, sir, na parang, I'd have to defend myself for saying na parang, I do stuff, swear.
So dapat
Yun nga.
talaga maging tayo, maging social media counterpart ng Schrodinger's cat.
Actually,
Ah.
both alive and both dead.
Ang ganda ng point na yun. Ikaw, Daniel. Kasi si Daniel ata younger ka na, Gio, at saka kaya na, di ba?
I
James.
guess
So,
so.
how about your experience sa generation na to? Do you have
Ano,
any disdain or parang anything?
I can't really pick both sides kung talagang positive effect ang mangyayari ngayon or negative effect. But let me just explore both sides. Actually, sinabi niyo na lahat yung sa positives na it's having stuff online, and with the blessing of technology, it makes everything convenient, accessible. For me personally, I can hang out with diverse friends from different parts of the world. Unlike yung sa, I guess, way back to when technology wasn't really used, yung mga kaibigan mo lang yung nasa yung mga kapitbahay mo lang, or yung lagi mo nakakasalamuha, and more times than not, that's gonna be just like one cultural perspective or experience.
Yeah.
But at least
Cultural perspective ng mga lasing na tambay sa kanto.
Ganun.
Yes. And yung negative naman, yung sinabi ni Gio, with the online things, especially like in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, yung mga major social media platforms, they really push you to be ideal. Laging best foot
That's it.
forward, laging woke up like this or something. Pero that's not really humane. That strips away the humane part of well-being human. Na we have our imperfections, hindi laging 100% tayo lagi. Yung nakikita natin sa Yeah.
Yeah, tsaka since it's permanent, parang you're not allowed to make mistakes then, I guess. Kasi for like the older generation, if you fuck up, you can just throw it under the rug na parang, okay, wala nakapansin.
Hindi na record. Hindi na record.
Parang sa atin kasi parang pinag-uusapan ka na agad eh.
Naka-screenshot pa. Naka-screenshot pa.
May resibo.
Umiikot ka sa mga GC.
May resibo.
Resibo, yun yung siguro sa isa pa pinaka-sad part. Ano pa, Daniel? Do you have any?
No, that's all really. Pero I mean, for me, it's a net positive part, because yun nga, with this online thing and tech thing, I get to experience a lot of cultures which will help me grow as a person. Kasi especially as a psych student and future psych professional, I will makakasalamuha ako ng mga kung sino-sino, and this can help me in my career. Yun.
Yung pinakabata sa atin si Denzel. Denzel, kamusta? First year ka pa lang, di ba? First year ka.
Magsa-second year.
Second year. So, how was it?
Napakakabitin dahil na may expectation yung pumasok as freshman. Then, yun nga kasi online. Nabawasan yung year. Nasayang yung year sa online. Dapat, ayun na actual, face-to-face. Dapat ma-feel yung pagiging college, kumbaga. Then, ayun, sana mag face-to-face at maayos na lahat.
COVID talaga may kasalanan yan.
Ang COVID talaga.
Di kasalanan to ni ano eh. Yung pumatay kay Harambe. Simula na, di ba nang namatay si Harambe? Ginala wala lahat eh. Nagsunod-sunod niya eh. Di ba?
Break muna tayo.
Sige.
Sarap na kinakain mo, James. Ano yan? Nagbabalik tayo sa break natin.
Kinakain?
Macaroni. Macaroni salad.
Oh.
May raisins o wala?
I identify myself.
As a partial.
I identify myself as macaroni salad.
As macaroni salad.
With raisins ba or wala?
Yun lang.
With?
Yun yung din na magkakate, Civil War. With raisins or wala.
Hindi, ang hati kung salad ba talaga ang macaroni salad.
Sushi.
Kung
Kasi
may
puro
condensed
pasta
ba yan
based,
o
no?
wala? Kung ano, yun ba yung matamis? Or...
Ipasok na natin itong main topic natin. So, ano pong meron? Ano pong meron, guys? Bakit pa tayo nandito? Bakit pa tayo nagtipon-tipon?
Ba?
Ano? Sa totoo lang, hindi ko rin alam eh. Bakit nga ba?
Pero I think I have a small idea. Kasi like, there are some students na natatakot sa hindi naman natatakot, pero paano ba? Na-intimidate kasi like, let's say after their undergrad journey as a psych student, now what? What's next? Diba?
Magandang tanong yan.
Self-actualization.
Tsaka alam niyo ba, isa yun sa mga dilemma and cause ng existential crisis ng mga students after graduation. Kasi what's next? You came from a very strict and very parang strict system. Tapos after nun, wala, hindi ka nagigising. Ganito, hindi ka na So, ano yung gagawin natin after nun?
For some others then, like yung graduation, yun na yung pinaka-peak. Tapos after that, it's like...
Yung makagraduate lang mentality.
Oo. Marami akong kilalang ganyan.
Ako lang sasagot ng pa-joke muna. Ang sasagot ko, pagkatapos mo sa psychology, making part ka na ng making cog ka na in the machine. Mawalan ka na ng individuality.
Ooh. Wait. Joke
By
ba?
joke.
Joke ba talaga yun?
Parang hindi naman nasa-joke yun.
Kung natatawa ako, okay.
Kung joke yun,
okay. Dark humor.
Ganyan ba ang pakiramdam ng nasa sistema?
Lahat ng tawanan mo pag nasa sistema ka na.
Ganyan tayo mag-cope. That's so sad.
Siguro, ako mauna bilang isang galing isa yun sa mga naging dilemma ko na parang, okay, kasi unlike sa ibang estudyante, I'm very happy-go-lucky ng college na parang, okay, graduate.
Same.
Ayun, parang okay lang, graduate ako din. Hindi talaga siya nag-kick in after 2 to 3 months after ng graduation na parang, wala na, it will never be the same again na di na ako bata. It's the end of my journey as a kid. Young adult na ako. Consider na akong young adult. Parang hindi ka na teenager or young. Meron lang adult sa dulo ng mga alal mo. So parang sabi ko, what? Hirap neto. Then, unlike sa schooling na there will be a final end. Pag nagtrabaho ka na or after mo graduate is yung final end na to is death. Yun na yung last na
It may seem sad pero true.
Ang ominous ng podcast, parang ganun siya say. Parang nalugmok ako slight. Di ba dapat parang hopeful tayo?
Matipis to mamaya. So, ayun.
Hindi ba yun ang ultimate release from this agony that is life?
To some people actually, gusto nila yung endpoint na agad.
Oo. Kaya ako isa sa mga dahilan na nag-start na ako nilist ko yung mga meanings ko sa buhay. Kasi like, 'di ba sa nag-aaral ka, may mga grade 1, grade 2, first year college, may mini accomplishments ka sa life after graduation. Wala na. So, it's on your own na to create your mini and
Tama.
tiny accomplishments. So, ikaw magtatrabaho ka, sabihin mo, makapasok ka, or magma-masters ka, mag-PhD ka. Then, ito, dahil out of nothingness, out of kawalan or walang meaning, mag-start kang to create your own meaning sa buhay. And I think it's the most valuable thing na maaaral mo pag wala ka talagang sinusundan na system. Di ba naging hopeful?
Actually,
Oo,
that's
diba?
very... Okay, actually nga pala.
Sharing.
Mali ko. Sorry.
There's your fan service.
Yun na pala yun. Sorry. Pero sir, coming from your perspective, ano ba, what as a psychology graduate, what can you say are these small accomplishments that you have for yourself na parang that keep you going within our field?
First is yung yung thought na nakakatulong ka sa ibang tao. I think naging tinanggap ko to sa sarili ko kasi para kasi siyang parang nakakayabang pag sinabi mo nakatulong ka sa ibang tao, but on my part acknowledgement yun ng ng success mo or yung accomplishment mo na I've helped a lot of people and nakita ko yung
Gawa mo
result
naman
nun.
talaga, sir, eh.
Ang hirap kasi. Ang hirap
Parang
kasi
iyak,
sabihin.
sir.
Parang hirap sabihin na, "Uy, nakatulong ako sa ibang tao." Para siyang bragging na way na. Okay, pero on my part, sabi ko, hindi naman parang nakatulong naman talaga ako eh. And pag binabalikan ako ng mga pasyente ko dati, tas nagpapasalamat sila. Those are the most beautiful thing na ma-accomplish mo bilang psych. For example, ako sa rehab, which is sa isa sa mga lugar na mahirap pumunta kasi ito na yung mga tao na cancer ng lipunan, mga drug addict, rapist, magnanakaw,
Oh, no.
and you're trying
So
to
hard.
help them.
Oo.
Di ba, ang hirap dun eh. And if you have a different perspective sa kanila or meron kang iba yung perspective, mahirapan ka. But on my part, sabi ko, kailangan ko tulungan to eh. And madi-distort and hindi distort eh, ma-align yung perspective mo talaga sa human behavior na we are all human beings and we're all just parang mga meat na imperfect and kailangan nila magbago. And pag nakita mo yung pagbabago nila, it's very talaga sarap sa pakiramdam.
Ang
Yan,
ano
helping.
din eh, no? Like yung kapag meron kang perspective na patayin ko yan.
Wala.
Scary.
Iba yan.
Ayan.
Bad
So, yan.
yan.
Kasi nakita mo na laging ito ang pinaka nakakatawang or nakaka-touch. Nakakatuwa pala na naririnig. Laging sinasabi ng mga magulang sa mga batang nare-rehab or sa mga taong mabait naman po yan dati. Di ba parang what? Di ba parang kahit kayo maging masama kayo. Kaya si Gio na rehab, sabihin ng mabait po yan. Straight A student po yan dati pero dahil po sa droga naging masama siya. And those kids, yung batang yun yung kailangan nating makuha ulit, yung dating siya. Na, naging tao siya dati. Tapos ngayon tingin natin monster siya ngayon. And parang yung sa Shrek na yun sa Shrek na movie, meron doon yung mga evil trees. Hindi naman nilang pinili na tawaging evil trees eh. Di ba parang evil trees sila? Di ba parang ganun? And they're trying to be their best. And wag talaga nating digtahan na hindi nagbabago yung mga tao. So, yun.
So, society lang nagsabi sa kanila na evil sila.
Actually.
Yeah. Concept lang siya.
Yan talagang mga labels na yan.
Labels.
Hanggang dito ba naman label problema?
Actually, when it comes to the society, a little add-on lang. No? Kasi, alam niyo yung golden rule. It's very famous, diba? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Pero, as a psychology student, sometimes you learn to realize that there are things na minsan, it's not always about the golden rule na kapag ka meron kang tinreat na isang tao na mabuti, i-expect mo na mabuti din yung treatment niya sa'yo. Minsan, even if you're a person that treats somebody na, let's say for example, influencer ako, pero I treated someone like trash. Ang mangyayari, the society will end up treating that person like trash din. Diba? So, I think it's also a big responsibility din na part ng psychology to be able to help remove the stigmas, remove the, kumbaga yung mga influencers na hindi naman talaga tama na, let's say for example, kahit hindi na, ayoko manira ng ayoko manira ng tao, pero alam mo yan, yung programa ni Tulfo, Diyos ko, sorry.
Kasi sabi mo ba yung judicial system ng Pilipinas?
Yeah. At some point then, kung titignan natin, kapag meron tayong problema, gusto natin magkaroon ng solution, we're like, gusto mo ipatulfo natin yan? Parang, wait lang.
RTC and RTC.
Parang the official solution to a specific problem is always parang si Tulfo and such na parang no overlook yung those people with the actual professional experience and those who have the responsibility to be fixing those kinds of problems na dinadaan sa social media na kung saan dito din natin ma-realize parang when it comes to society kung ano yung pinifeed sa atin ng social media, kung ano yung pinifeed sa atin ng internet, ano yung pinifeed sa atin, may kita din natin kung ano tayo. Kasi doon sa kung saan tayo nag-e-enjoy, parang, alam mo yun, yung mga tao nag-e-enjoy kapag nakikita silang may nag-aaway, may nagbabatuhan ng pinggan. Alam mo yung TV show na yun, nakalimutan ko yun, parang
Face-to-face.
Yan yung face-to-face. So, parang
face-to-face. Face-to-face!
Inaway mo yung asawa ko! Inagaw mo sa akin si Junmar! Parang tapos babatuhin nyo ng pinggan. Diyos ko. So sometimes, as psychology, as a psych student, minsan you also have to think for yourself, shucks, bakit ako nag-e-enjoy sa ganito? Parang, it makes you think for yourself na parang, there's something wrong with me or is there something wrong with society?
Dahil ba psych student ka, kaya ka nag-enjoy doon o ibang factor?
Hala.
Diba?
Saan bang kasama?
So, kaya feeling ko, as part of psychology, parang as part of our personal growth then, we tend to realize a lot of these things. We tend to learn more. Pero I don't think na kapag gusto mo diagnose self, self-diagnose. I don't think that you should be taking psychology kasi there's a difference between studying actually taking therapy. Kasi,
Yes.
diba? And I think, Dan, meron ka masasabi din doon.
Yeah, kasi like the common thing in psych students, well, not all, but there's a handful na they take the course because they want to learn more about themselves, help them to figure out themselves, or maybe potentially diagnose family members and whatever. But guys, yung hashtag don't self-diagnose.
Don't diagnose self.
Yeah, because it's like yung scope ng undergrad, it only does so much. Like pag tapos ka na sa undergrad, no, you can't really let's say slap the DSM-5 and say like, okay, I have MDD. Doesn't really work like that. There's more onto that. There's grad school, there's actually even taking, I think, yung boards. Yung boards, yung RPM, RSI and all, to actually properly practice yung psych and to apply it in yun.
So hindi ka lang parang si Oprah na ikaw may depression. Lahat kayo may depression. So I mean, you mentioned a very big part of being a psych student, which is kapag katapos mong graduate ay merong bar exam? Is that the term?
Yung boards, yung
board
PRC,
exam.
yeah.
Board exam.
For registered psychometrician, then after that, yung registered psychometrician. Sorry, my throat just died. Kasi like, okay, honestly, I myself, I'm scared, a little bit scared. Kasi like, magta-third year na ako, and boards are just like gonna be around the corner, and major subjects. Yeah, tip to the younger year students, you have to really focus on those majors kasi yun ang talagang angat sa'yo sa ano na to eh. Not only in the exams, but the concepts will help sa wherever you may be sa psych field after grad. Yung clinical, edu, or IO, those are the major fields. Yeah.
It's
But
true.
there are many more. Mm-mm.
Ikaw ba, James? Anong masasabi mo dun sa I mean, ikaw, you're an incoming fourth year now, right?
Mm.
So, I mean, malapit na eh. Malapit na yung judgment day mo eh, bilang
Judgment Day?
Yung Judgment Day, actually, yeah.
Alim.
Nakakaano talaga, nakakatakot, nakaka-pressure. Especially ngayon na alam ko yung karamihan din ng major ko had been, kumbaga, I feel like it's been compromised kasi very limited lang ang kayang gawin sa online teaching. Kahit na
Yeah.
sabihin mo, it's full of content, kahit na sabihin mo,
Mm.
you've spent 16 hours for the whole day sa screen mo, that doesn't ensure the quality of your education. Kasi you're spending your time with the screen and there's distraction everywhere. Kumbaga, aside from that one, wala ka sa ewan ko in my personal opinion, wala ka sa learning area, wala ka sa learning space. That's why we have schools. It's to create an environment suitable for learning para lahat kayo pantay-pantay. That's the problem with the education system ngayon. Kasi like, walang pantay sa atin. We're all on the same ocean. We're all in the same storm, but we're not all on the same boats. So, sobrang hirap. Especially ngayon, mas lalo akong kinakabahan sa boards na parang baka mamaya, syempre, when we're talking about education, it's always growing eh. Education is always growing. So, minsan magugulat ka lang yung grade 1, parang, bakit ka nag-aaral ng geometry? Parang, uy, kapatid ko, Diyos ko, nag-aaral ng algebra grade 2, Diyos ko. Sana okay lang kayo.
Calculus na grade 3.
Hala.
Calculus grade.
Iba naman doon, Diyos ko eh.
So with that, and the crumbling experimental phase we are in, our generation is in, mas lalo ko talagang kakabahan sa boards. Pero I'm really expecting, I'm really praying, personally, really praying and hoping na pumasa tayo syempre sa boards. Kasi it opens up plenty of opportunities.
The apprehension is normal. Siyempre, tao lang tayo eh. And with anything new, not even education or whatever, it's like, after grad, now what? The thought of the unknown common scenarios scare people. And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
That's why we're here to give some perspectives and insights na, what to do. Ang ngarag lahat ng mga advanced mag-isip, ako. Recently I've been seeing like what kind of grad school am I gonna go in after my undergrad. So I'm like, oh gosh. Kasi wait, share ko lang kasi.
Na-all direction sa buhay. Hindi ko pa
wala pa. Nagbabrowse lang ako ng mga uni websites and whatever. Kasi ganito, I discussed with my sister and then I'm like, so after undergrad, do you want me to work first, tapos mag-masters? Or mag-masters and work? Sabi niya, yung latter. And I'm like, oh. And that's gonna be a little difficult kasi, yun nga, work, tapos masters at the same time. Pero common scenario din yun, I heard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's go for it.
After ko graduate ng college, after a month, nag-masters na ako.
Ganun kasipag si Sir. Wala tayo dyan. Saludo talaga ako sa'yo.
Walang pahinga-pahinga.
Walang pahinga-pahinga.
Rest is for the week.
Oo. Ito na yung longest time na nagpahinga ako after graduation. Siguro 2 years na akong walang aral. Nag-aaral ulit ako. PhD. Wala lang. So I guess, si Daniel yung kailangan yung makasama pag nagka-zombie apocalypse kasi futuristic siya mag-isip eh. As in
it's a double-edged thing. It's a double-edged thing. Grabe.
What about you, Gio?
Si Gio.
I am very apprehensive.
I think
Tell us more.
Hindi, kasi I do remember we had our internships this last month. It just wrapped up. And then I was interning in a clinical setting, psychological consultancy siya. And then yung boss namin, she casually asks the GC na parang, uy, your fourth year this coming semester, will you guys be doing boards kasabay ng NMAT? Which is like, NMAT is National Medical Admissions Tests.
Yeah.
So kasi nga yung iba sa amin nagpe-pre-med. Tapos parang, kami dalawa ni Jean, we were confused kasi hindi namin in-expect na magsasabay pala yun. Pero apparently, NMAT is around December. So, yung boards mo would be around March. Tama ba, sir? So parang technically you're supposed to be viewing for both.
Oh, that's Cramfest.
And parang kami dalawa, you know, Jean and I, may kasama ko sa internship, we were freaking out kasi sabi na, wala pa tayo nasisimula. And any of those things. Tapos parang, our boss even said na parang, I suggest you do your boards muna kasi at least yun, immediate information yung relevant sa inyo because you're in the field. Tapos parang, iniisip naman namin, if we don't do NMAT now, may isang taon kaming bakante for us to get into med school. So parang ano gagawin namin in the duration of that? So parang, it's very scary, especially
Magme-med
now,
school ka ba, Gio?
if papasa.
Ah.
If papasa.
Ako personally, pag tinopak, mag-med school ako kasi like, yun sana yung gusto ko. Pero like, after researching a little bit on the potential craziness ng med school and after it, I'm like, baka let's be a little bit more realistic. Baka mag-IO ako or master's clinical na lang. If I actually want to be sa clinical field, ganun.
Yeah. Kasi parents are pushing hard for it. Alam mo yun naman. The whole reason kaya namin pinasok ng psych.
Really?
Yeah,
ng med school.
Med talaga.
Nagugustuhan ko na makasama si Daniel sa zombie apocalypse talaga.
Sorry na.
I think si Denzel may masasabi tungkol dun sa pressure as a student.
Nagsisimula pa lang siya. Ayan, bilang nagsisimula pa. Meron pang 109 days ata. 1,100.
Bilang.
Binibilangan ka
Bilang
na
na bilang.
Sa si Phineas.
May countdown na.
So ayan, anong nararamdaman sa future?
For me, siguro, yung pressure, natatakot din dahil yung may nag-ask sa akin if anong balak mo after graduate if you're going to take masteral or may balak ka bang mag-doctor. Lagi yung sinasabi, kung pala rin makapasok mag-masteral or pero for me, ang talagang dream ko as a future psychologist siguro yung maging doctorate or maging doctor in the future, yung makakuha ng PhD. Yun lang laging sinasabi. Kung pala rin or kakayanin in the future yung may pera or may kakayanin ba ng oras ko or yung peer pressure din siguro. Kasi yun yung magiging madalas din siguro in the future na yung mga ibang kaklase ko is mas umangat, nagkaroon ng title as may master's in psychology or kahit anumang major yan or doctorate. For me, yun yung bala kong sana pala rin na maging doctor one day.
That's a very optimistic way and good way of thinking about it na parang you don't put yourself in the position na parang iipitin mo yung sarili mo na shit, hindi ako pumasa. You're placing yourself in the sense na parang if it goes my way, if things align, then okay. If not, then hindi.
Kasi mahirap din kapag pinressure mo yung sarili mo, tuloy-tuloy na yun na, baka hindi ako makapasa, baka hindi na ako makaangat sa buhay, ganun.
Sana all.
Grabe yun. Inumaan din ako doon. Ang sarap naman pakinggan nun.
Thank you, Denzel. Na-affirm mo yung feelings ko.
Validation.
Yeah. I feel so vindicated na parang kasi parang do or die kasi for most of us na parang di ka pumasa, saan ka pupulutin.
Hello, ma'am, sir. Welcome to McDonald's.
Alam mo, meron ako message para doon bilang isang transferee from another university. Tapos I'm 25 years old and I just want to say na kahit na bumaksak ka or pumasa ka, hindi natatapos doon yung laban.
Never too late, yeah.
That's true.
Like, I mean, bumaksak ka man or what, ikaw pa rin yun. Like, hindi ka nabawasan ng pagkatao or anything.
Tama naman.
Kaya mahal ko kayo. Kaya mahalin nyo rin sarili nyo.
Yan. Yun yung mga linyahan ni Kuya Pat eh.
Self-love.
Kung may babae pong nakikinig, pwede naman pong jowain nyo na si Kuya Pat.
Single po si Kuya Pat.
Hindi na. Tama na. Ayaw na.
Hindi naman daw si Gio. Kung may nakikinig.
Oo, si Gio, guys.
Actually, that's a good concept. That's a good stand-off point to be in. meron lang din akong gustong idagdag. Kasi I feel like that kind of perspective is yung, going with the flow. Na usually kapag sinasabi natin kapag pinalad, usually, it's always, you'll get to know a person who's go with the flow kapag sinasabi nila, if the Lord wills it, or parang kapag will ni God, or kapag parang kung sakaling palarin man ako, makapasa man ako dito. Pero I feel like there should be a little bit more activeness sa drive natin, na hindi lang tayo magiging passive about it, na parang, kasi let's say for example you're in this river, go with the flow ka, pero what if you're not in the direction where you want to? Wouldn't you pressure yourself a little bit more just to go to the direction where you want to be? Hindi ba? Parang sa akin kasi
Too much work.
na-cancel agad, no? Too much work, wag na. Diretso na.
I mean, I think that's a reason people say kapag meron silang balakid sa harapan nila. Lagi nilang binibigyan nila yung sarili nila ng leeway to fail, which is not always a good thing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Kaya it's also good na meron din tayong drive at some point na, kumbaga, we can also validate those people na wag naman to the point na pinapressure mo talaga yung sarili mo na you're already yung torture ka na, no? Para wag naman sana yung ganun. Pero there should still at least be pressure na para sa sarili mo. Pressure that's healthy enough for you to be actually, kumbaga parang to be active enough na alam mo na meron kang dapat gawin, na alam mo meron kang kailangan gawin. And, there's you find your purpose in that. Kasi it's like saying you're a basketball player pero kung saan lang mapunta yung bola, doon lang din ako pupunta. Parang
relate ako ng basketball.
Hindi ka pa makikiagaw ng bola. Parang, wouldn't you try shooting the ball? Parang ganun. So,
what is sports?
Alam ko sports man ka, Patrick.
What is sports?
Sir, I employ my mind in everything. I am no sports.
Kaya in my perspective, there should always be a balance between, just going completely with the flow, or parang, too much pressure on yourself. There should always be a balance. Kasi yun nga, similar with the conflicts.
Sabi rin ni Thanos yan eh.
Sabihin si Sir Ron.
Wala lang, natawa lang ako kasi natatawa lang ako dun sa pinipressure yung sarili nila. Yung parang tipong, di ba nag-i-start yung class? Inaral na nila yung buong sem. Parang, calm down. Calm down. Pero kung masaya ka naman dun, kasi alam mo yun, ipipressure yung sarili and they become parang
better for you.
Yes.
Oo, masaya sila. Alam, parang okay lang. May mga taong gustong-gusto na, ako gustong-gusto ko pinipressure yung sarili ko. Like, tomorrow na yung pasahan. Gagawa ko mga 3 a.m. Wow. Gigising ako maaga. Gustong-gusto ko yun. Parang cramming. Isa yun sa gustong-gusto ko yun sa pakaramdam.
Bakit may atake, sir?
Yung adrenaline daw.
Yung adrenaline.
Hindi namin sinasabi ditong mag-procrastinate kayo.
Alam mo yun. Know yourself.
Know your limits. Know yourself.
Know yourself. Na parang, kanya-kanyang yan eh. Wala kang specific learning style eh. Alam niyo ba yan? Ang learning style is very subjective to very unique sa bawat isa, na parang walang set na dapat listening. Ayan, auditory ka lang, dapat visual ka lang, or tactile, or experiential. Walang kanya-kanya tayong learning style and technique how to handle our pressure sa sarili. If you want pressure, good. Kung gusto mo talaga siya. Tapos kung hindi naman, edi wag. 'Di ba? So, yun.
I think on that note, ano yan?
Hindi, sige, ikaw muna, Pat. May tatanong sana.
Sige, tanong mo na.
Hindi, tatanong ko lang kay Sir Ron is because like, how, as a graduate na, how did he settle na parang, ito yung direction ng psych na gusto kong puntahan? Like, paano nyo napagtanto sa sarili ko, sir, na parang, dito ako magaling, dito ako mag-excel, dito ako sasaya?
Nung nag-OJT ako kaya nga ang lungkot kasi online yung OJT nyo eh. Nung sobrang sad na iba yung experience na pumunta ka mag-work ka sa loob ng isang mental health facility Kasi nandun na yung nag-aral ka ng 3 years, 4 years, nandun na lahat ng inaral mo, lahat ng mga disorder, makikita mo yung manifestation talaga in flesh ng mga pinag-aralan mo. So, nung nagtrabaho ako sa nag-OJT ako, tapos na-experience ko yung una trauma eh. As in talaga, parang Stockholm syndrome yung nangyari sa akin sa psych eh. Parang na-traumatize ako, kaya ako nagustuhan. So,
Hala,
na-traumatize pa.
ganun.
Kasi, pinahandle ako sa isang schizophrenic. Tapos, sobrang weird niya talaga. And even after nung interview ko, tsaka mental status ko dun sa patient, nagkaroon ako ng mga flashbacks and nagkaroon ako ng recurrent nightmares about dun sa mga patients dun sa loob ng mental health facility. Then after nung na-resolve ko siya, kunento ko siya sa mga friends ko na nakakaramdam ako ng ganito, I feel anxious. Sabi ko, ito yung talagang gusto kong gawin na. Gusto kong malaman pa what's more, ano pa yung gusto ko. Tapos yung validation ng mga tao. Kaya I really encourage everyone to affirm or kunyari may nakita kang maayos or nagiging tawag doon, desidido siya sa ginagawa niya, i-affirm mo siya kasi yun yung naging fuel ko din eh. Nung nag-OJT ako sa rehab, yung mga tao ina-affirm ako na ang sipag mo, ang ganda, sobrang keen ng observation mo, ganyan, et cetera. Sabi ko, ako naman utong-uto naman ako na okay, gagalingan ko palalo. So, isa yun. Tapos sabi ko, ito talaga yung gusto kong gawin. Doon dahil sa OJT. Gusto ko mag-focus sa clinical setting, help people with psychological problems. Kasi nakita ko. So ngayon, sa OJT niyo, kamusta?
We don't talk
Kumusta?
about it. We don't make mentions of the
papunta
OJT.
pa lang
We
ako
don't
dun,
talk
sir.
about
Ano?
the OJT.
Kalimutan po natin.
Daniel, ano yan? Ano yung Daniel? Ano yung share mo?
Hindi. Sabi ka, papunta pa lang po ako dun kasi
Ah.
starting third year pa lang po ako.
So yun. Masaya sana. Sana. May effective yung face shield at magkaroon na tayo ng face-to-face classes. Effective naman talaga yun eh.
Sorry.
Yun, so,
Sana nga maging effective ang patient.
I do want to
para
mention though, na parang on that question, parang dumaan kasi kami doon, I personally had to check the facility if it existed. Kasi hindi ko alam kung joke time kung meron ba talaga consultants. Kasi malay ko ba kung ginagago lang kami.
True.
So I had to personally go there. Pero hindi siya sanctioned ng school. So I had to make an appointment with Miss Christine na parang I had to check what the place looked like. And it was a small place lang sa condo. Condo, isa siyang 2-bedroom condo unit na refurbish into an office. And then ayun, pumasok ako, there was even a patient there na dinadiagnose for a sexual assault trauma. Tapos Miss Tin came out to meet me. Parang, and she had to introduce na this is what we do. We administer tests. We involve ourselves in different cases of people. Yung depende daw usually judicial yung mga nagkakaroon ng sexual assault cases or if people are handling trauma, and then they also measure if unfit ba talaga yung client for an annulment, ganun, that sort of thing. And seeing there, yung one time na nandun ako, I was amazed kasi hindi ko inasahan na ganun pala kalaki yung ambag natin bilang psychologists into the lives of people kasi parang binabayaran sila ng like huge amounts of money obviously for them to be able to give court hearing evidence sa court hearings. They also iba pa yung bayad doon aside dun sa fact na nag-administer sila ng test, binabayaran sila para pumunta sa korte at magpakita. So parang ako, holy shit, so daming pera. And
yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo yung gold mine ang psych when it comes to monetary. Hindi lang siya masyadong sikat. Kaya yung mga nagpo-pursue yun yung alam mo niya na nagkakaroon sila na
parang hindi naman sa nililik ko yung detalye ng boss ko. No? Pero I've heard that parang for each court appearance na you're just gonna drop evidence and say na yung results nila from the tests that you administered on court. You're paid upwards of 5,000 to 10,000 an hour on court.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. I mean, getting there obviously is difficult, pero wow, guys, hindi ko maisip yun, ma-imagine yun, like, earning that sums of money in an hour. Wala lang. Nobody told me this.
Yung ano pa lang yun, yung appearance pa, hindi pa included yung diagnosis mo, yung assessment.
Yeah,
Umabot yun ng
certificate na yun.
umabot yun ng one client to 100,000 sa
1,000.
annulment. Isang
Yeah.
person lang yun. Iba pa yung asawa niya. Sa asawa, so 200,000 kung both mo yung na-handle. So, yun, easy money talaga. Para easiest money of your life.
Wow.
Pero
Ayun
secret lang yun. Yun yung sa mga ano. Ang maganda.
Podcast
Kayo
special.
maingay. Secret lang
Wala kayo
natin
narinig.
yun.
pero secret
makikinig
lang
kayo
yan.
dito Shush lang kayo. Shush.
Choose lang kayo.
This is our big secret.
Yung mga umabot lang sa ganitong number of minutes, yung nakakaalam nito.
Kasi sobra talaga. As in, gold mine yung psych ng ano. If for example, ako, young professional pa ako sa age ko, without bragging okay na, may apartment na ako, may sarili na ako. As in, nag-live na ako on my own at this very young age. So, nung nag-force ako ng psych, nag-start yun. Diba? So, sabi nila, magganyan ka, para malaki yung kita daw. Tapos yun. Maganda yung future if you want to pursue psych. Pero, depende pa rin yun sa gusto nyo.
Yeah.
Monetary-wise, etc.
On that note, gusto ko mag-scroll back na a little bit general. General kasi I took out my general psychology book just for this theory kasi I think relevant sa mga students na advanced mag-isip, not just me, or really want some perspective on yung anong mangyayari after, like during their psych journey and after graduation. Kasi okay, I'm taking the yung theory ni Carl Rogers, yung ideal self at saka yung real self mo. Why is that important? Kasi, let's say, ideal self mo, I want to be a psychologist. Real self mo, ano ka pa lang? Psych student ka pa lang. So, what can you do to, like, get there? Of course, like yung mention ko a few minutes ago or so, to really top up on your majors and to nail that boards and all. Pero there's only so much that, being book smart and test smart can do.
Yeah.
I think even outside the classroom style, there has to be networking. That's gonna help you as after graduation kasi, like, more connections, more potentials in work and all.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you also have to be, aside from book smart, test smart, you also have to be people smart. Diba? Like parang, you have to be able, kasi I think some of the purposes that internships provide is, it's another opportunity where you can be absorbed, where you can have, kumbaga parang, okay, meron tayong intern dito that is willing to work for our company or willing to work at our clinic, which could serve as another opportunity for you to actually secure one, diba? So, and another thing is, I agree doon sa pagiging people smart na kailangan meron ka ring connections kasi it would be very, very difficult kapag alam mo yun, wala kang connections. May mga tao na sadly, they romanticize the idea of kailangan puro ka hard work, ganito, ganyan, and everything. Sometimes, parang mapapaisip ka, there are people na, magkaiba kasi yan kapag parang we're talking about working hard versus working smart, pero you can't always devote yourself into one. Kailangan you have to do both. You have to work smart and you have to work hard. Hindi pwedeng working hard ka lang, it won't get you anywhere. Hindi pwedeng working smart ka lang kasi parang, tapos you're always just, wala lang, you're just working smart, pero you have to do both in order to actually succeed in this field na naniniwala under psych. Kailangan talaga. Kasi, let's say for example, your opportunity is just within the reach of one individual. Yung next dictating opportunity mo that will get you your dreams into being a successful psychologist is through Sir Ron pala. Diba? What if siya yun? So,
Let's go, Sir.
You really have to be smart with people and with the people who you're willing to connect with. Kasi ito din actually natutunan ko sa internship din namin. So, ayan. Marami ako natutunan, guys. Sa internship namin.
Freak sa tayo.
Yeah. It's industrial eh. So sa amin, we've been tasked with contacting people, kumbaga, and we were tasked with actually introducing the company's culture doon sa sa client, sa applicant. So we've been actually kung titignan mo, very underrated din yung underrated din yung HR work. Bakit kasi if you look into it, HR, these are the people who are actually na sila yung tao na nagko-cultivate ng culture doon sa mismong company kasi they choose the right people kung sino yung pasok sa job na to. Hindi makakapasok sa Trinity si Sir Ron kung walang may magaling tumingin sa tao na nakita na pasok si Sir Ron dito sa Trinity. We are going to interview Sir Ron. We are going to kunin natin si Sir Ron. Kasi there's what we call na aggressive calling eh. May mga HR na parang if we really see that this person is suitable for this job and alam namin na kailangan namin siya dito sa company na to, tatawagan ka namin, kukulitin ka namin. So, when it comes to opportunities, I think there are plenty. Pero it's also wise to get to know a lot of people, especially those that can serve as our bridge to our success. So, ayan, I think those are the things that we have to consider, especially when we're going through the process of being a psych student or wanting to be a psych student. And you don't have to worry about being this kind of, hindi naman ako people person eh, sabihin mo. You don't have to worry about it kasi it will come to you. Unti-unti. Magugulat ka na lang na parang, hala shucks, bakit ngayon tinatanong ko yung nito, sex
Yeah,
life nito,
that's
parang, parang, ang niya lang na napaka-casual na tapos biglang, hala, kaya ko nang maipag-usap sa tao ng very, parang, sensitive topics, kakaiba, tapos parang, you get to develop, you get to learn these
Totoo
kinds
yun.
of skills. So, ayun, kayo matakot sa psych, guys.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna encounter people. Kasi
Yeah.
with psychology,
Oo.
anong pinapag-aralan mo? Basic definition tayo ng psychology. Study of human behavior and mental processes. Human.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Akala ko nung una, like, that's one of the limitations for me. Kasi sabi ko, hindi ako appealing, like, for the older generation. So, parang hindi ako marunong approach ng people older than me. Like, I don't know how to do that. So, parang, doon ko na-realize na mag-kick in siya sa'yo automatically kasi you understand how to read people eh. You understand how to, paano makisama, paano gumana, ano yung pananaw sa'yo ng tao. Kasi you've been literally studying it for like how many years. So, it's one of the things na nabigla ako na parang, holy shit, nagawa ko yung interview.
So, ang parting lesson natin dito, bulahin mo tsaka paging yes man ka. Joke lang!
Yes,
man.
it works. It's not.
At saka it doesn't hurt na kakilala mo yung kapatid ni Mayor.
Labasan na ng backer.
I mean, on that note, maybe tigil na natin to. Tama na. Ayoko na.
Hala.
Maganda na yun. Maganda na yung ending natin. Yun na yun.
All good things come to an end, joke.
Yes, kasi baka mamaya may masabi pa sa yung
Yun na kasi.
Wait lang. This is like us coming from the perspective who had internships who are coming. Denzel, ano masasabi mo? Like, hearing all of this, na-pressure ka ba? Mas nahirapan ka ba?
Na-enlighten ka ba?
As a voice ng mga upcoming freshies, tsaka as a voice din ng mga Sophies, mga second year. Parang yun nga, based sa mga experience nyo, as Sir Ron said, si Kuya Gio, tsaka kayong lahat is very inspiring na parang yung knowledge at yung experience nyo, parang mas na-inspire kami as mas bumilib sa sarili namin na ito pala yung mundo ng psychology na learning has no limits, na as a future psychology, may matututunan ka din sa pasyente mo dahil dun sa experience niya or yung backstory niya kung bakit ganun yung health niya or yung status niya. So, it's very inspiring na there is no limit for learning, na hindi ka lang dapat dito sa isang status, na pwede ka din mag-grow, pwede ka mag-change as a person, as an individual. na pwede kang lumago, pwede mong makilala yung sarili mo at yung ibang tao. Ayun.
Huwag kayong like, one of the apprehensions kasi I had, na parang going into it, sabi ko, shucks, parang more than 2 years na akong online lang nag-aaral. Kakayanin ko ba
Yeah.
yung internships na parang, okay lang ba? Then I realized na parang, meron ka namang matututunan. And at the same time, you're there to learn pa rin, technically. So you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to forgive yourself. Noong una, hindi ako marunong. Hindi ako marunong gumawa ng case report. Guys, tatlong ulit ako.
At saka siguro yung
Diba?
nakakatakot ng iba. Kasi nga, the experience is the best teacher. So siguro nakakatakot din yung actual experience dun sa school, sa university. Na parang yun yung kinakatakot din.
Alam mo, kinalungkot ko, hindi ka nakapag-case report.
Ano, sir?
Nakapag-case report ba kayo?
Nakapag-case report kang, sir, with each other. Not with people with actual...
Ayun, sa lungkot.
Sa psych assessment, meron tayo. Nagawa tayo.
So, yun.
Gumagawa ako, sir, nung may tao na like with an actual person to feature. May witness account din. Grabe, hirap na hirap ako, sir, kasi ang hirap gawin siya objectively.
Nag-interview ka na.
Wait lang. Overtime na tayo.
Sorry.
Hindi, joke lang. So, anong naramdaman nyo?
Sino pong mga kailangan nating pasalamatan? I just want to thank you guys for talking.
Yes.
For talking.
Yes.
Salamat na nagsalita kayo. Mga anak kayo ng tipaklong.
Yeah.
In any case, saan ba tayo mahanap? I think mahanap tayo sa
Facebook.
Facebook, maybe YouTube, possibly Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Amen.
Basta kung saan nag-distribute
to hear more
In any case, sige na. Kasi tayo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.